The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
Welcome back to the podcast. This week we have Vickie Evans, the Interim Executive Director of Angelina Arts Alliance. This is such an amazing organization. I think I've said it every single time they've come on the podcast. I absolutely love what they do. It's such a hidden jewel for our community and makes this such a great place to live. So she dives into the 2023 to 2024 season, all the exciting new shows, gets into detail about some of the cool things that are happening. So let's get into that episode now.
We are thrilled this morning to have the Interim Director, Vickie Evans, with the Angelina Arts Alliance. Welcome, Vickie. We're glad to have you on this morning.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah,
Excited to share with you.
You know, everybody knows you as an educator. So how did you get into this role as the Interim Director?
Well, I have been a part of the Angelina Arts Alliance since its inception, serving on the board of directors. Mm-hmm. And so I was rejoining the board of directors again after being off for a while. And I got a phone call from Jane Ainsworth and Dr. Mike Simon asking if I could come in just for a little while and just serve as interim director while we looked for a new director. And that was in August. And now I'm still here.
And you're still here.
So it's just Angelina Arts Alliance has always been held a special place in my heart. Mm-hmm. So it was an easy yes.
Yeah. Well, you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So for those that may not be familiar with Angelina Arts Alliance, why don't you give a little bit of the background history?
All right. Well, Angelina Arts Alliance is a nonprofit organization governed by a very hardworking board of directors. And we produce 5 series a year as well as several outreach activities. So at the Angelina College Temple Theater, we have the Performing Arts Series and the Discovery Series for families. And at the Pines Theater, we have the Pines Present Series, the School Time Series, and the Classic Film Series. So for the last 23 years, Angelina Arts Alliance's mission has really been to enrich and entertain and educate by presenting and promoting the arts of East Texas. And we're sort of in a unique organization in that we are the only organization within a 90-mile radius that offers performing arts. So it makes us a little special place in the heart of East Texas. And so we're able to promote the arts and uplift the arts into our community, which I think really is a powerful tool for economic and community development. Just encourages bringing people together for shared experiences and just creating a broad range of arts that are inclusive, diverse, and have a lot of equity in them.
Yeah, and I just think people are always so shocked at the quality and the caliber of arts and artists that come to Lufkin, Texas.
Exactly. I mean, people that from all over the United States, friends everywhere, that's like, wow, they're just blown away by the offerings and the entertainment that we bring in.
That's right.
Yeah, it's truly incredible. So I have 2 little kids, and we cannot overstate how much we love the Arts Alliance, just because. And so we had Tara Hendricks from the city on a few episodes ago, and she talked about tourism and how important that was, and the dollar spend that happens when people come to a town. And when I look at that from the other side, so like when I want to take my kids to go see the Blue Man Group, for example, that's dollars that would have been spent in Houston or in Dallas or in Austin that stayed here because it's able to bring these really, really high quality performances and musicals and everything else to our town. And it's hard to overstate that, really how cool that is. That I have a good friend of mine, he lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma, And he loves hearing me talk about Lufkin because he thinks it's the most interesting enigma that it's a town this small. I said Blue Man Group as an example. I was talking to him about that because he had taken his kids, and he asked where we went to see it, and I said it was in Lufkin. He's like, "There's no way you saw that in Lufkin." He's almost to the point where he's going to fly to Houston and then drive up here just to come see what Lufkin is all about, because it's such it's such an interesting community that people don't really understand that we can get that type of thing here in a town this size.
And it just adds so much value to who we are as a community. Yeah. It allows our children to see things. We have a lot of poverty in our community, and our school children get to come to the theater, and my favorite story really is a school time series that we did at the Temple Theater, and I was sitting next to a little third grader, and he looked around at the theater and he goes, "Do you have to be rich to come to see a show here?"
Oh, wow.
And it just warmed my heart that we're able to expose our children to quality performances and things that, and they, even at the Pines Theater, when they come to the Temple Theater, they're just amazed at, because we have children that never even go to a movie theater.
That's right.
And to be able to experience live theater and be able to laugh and experience happiness, and who knows, maybe the next famous performer will come from Lufkin, Texas, just from coming to one of our school time performances. So
I think back on years ago when I was at the Pines, and some of my favorite days were when we showed the Polar Express, and we brought in the kids.
Yes.
They came in their pajamas, and we had Santa come out at the end, and we had milk and cookies for the kids, and then all the kids got a bell. And so they walked out of the Pines, and so many of them, like you said, had never been to the movie theater, and they got to come and experience that. And I used to just stand at the back of the theater and cry like a crazy person watching these children. And so, just the amount of exposure that they get, I mean, it is life-changing.
Yeah. It's fun to see them, because sometimes we think we love the shows that are family friendly, because it allows the children to be children.
Yeah.
They can hoop and holler and clap and make noise, where sometimes people think in the theater you have to be quiet.
That's right.
And so they get to really experience the whole thing, and with their friends.
That's right.
So it's fun.
Well, you have just announced the brand new 23-24 season.
Yes.
So let's talk about that, because you've got some fantastic things coming to both
We
theaters.
really do. So we have such a variety of show options this year, and our program committee put a great deal of thought into this season with our community in mind, and what would the citizens of Lufkin and Angelina County be interested in seeing. So we wanted everyone, no matter what your age or your music preference was, to be able to find at least one show that they could be excited about. And so I always like to say, if you can't find at least one show this season, you need to check your pulse, because you may not be breathing. So in East Texas, we love our country music.
Yes, we do.
So if you like old classic country, we have T. Graham Brown that will be at the Pines Theater. And then we are excited about our 90s Country Roots and Boots tour, which features Colin Ray and Sammy Kershaw and Aaron Tippin.
That's going to be a great show.
All together on one stage.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a fun show.
That's going to be a fun show.
Then, if you love Broadway, which everybody loves some Broadway shows, we have actually two shows this year. One is Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's celebrating its 50-year anniversary.
That's crazy.
And I have to tell you that in 1972, when I was a student at the University of Texas, I went to see Jesus Christ Superstar when it first came out 50 years ago, and I was amazed then. I haven't seen it since, so I'm excited about seeing it. Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I haven't either. I've heard so much about it.
And I know that people need to research it, because it's really not what you think it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's I think it'll be it's really kind of fun to think about it, and where we were 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It was controversial 50 years ago. Not so much so as much as now, but anyway, it's we're excited about that. And then, of course, we have our On Your Feet, which was rescheduled from last year because of the snowstorm, the ice storm that came through. Even though it didn't hit Lufkin, the trailers and buses could not get through the northern part of Texas. So we had to reschedule, and we really thanked everybody for being kind and understanding. And so if you had season tickets for this last year, your season tickets are still good. Keep your seats. But it will, if you didn't have tickets will go on sale after a round of
And that's the
season
story of
tickets.
Gloria Stefan.
It's the story
Miami
of
Sound
Yes,
Machine.
Miami
It's gonna
Sound
be- I'm gonna be
Machine.
like
super,
shimmying
super.
in
You will be dancing in the aisles and singing. It's great. I've seen it. And it's worth your time.
It's beautiful colors. The colors in
Exactly.
it are beautiful.
And then everybody is excited about Amy Grant. That's really the buzz. Everybody's so excited about Amy. She's married to Vince Gill, and he came years ago.
He did, and he was phenomenal.
We really wanted both
played
of them.
42 different guitars.
Oh my gosh!
Brent counted.
That's awesome.
He never played the same guitar twice.
That's amazing.
Concert.
Well, we really wanted both of them, but it wasn't in
Can't
our
afford
budget.
that one.
Yeah.
they were a little over our
Maybe we'll
budget.
just show up
But
and
we
sing
got
one
Amy.
song.
We got Amy, and I was hoping she would say, "Come on, Vince, you've been there before. Just join me." Dad.
Come
So
on.
maybe he will. I don't know, but Amy's career, as you know, spans 40 years. Starts with her gospel roots, and then she became an iconic pop star. So we're excited about having her. And then if you want to step back in time, we have a couple of shows that featuring some of your favorite artists. The one is the Greatest Love of All,
Cannot
which
wait.
is the tribute
Yes.
to Whitney Houston. And Belinda Davids is the singer there, and she is absolutely wonderful. She sounds just like Whitney. She looks like Whitney. It will be a really, really fun song.
Hillary and I
that's
are
gonna
going
be
to have to change our seats to be able to sit beside each other on that one.
Yeah, you probably will,
'Cause we're
because you're
gonna
going to
need to
sing
sing
and
the
you're
whole
going to
time.
dance.
That's amazing.
It's
We're
a
going to
fun one.
annoy every person around us.
I'll be right there with
Okay,
you,
good.
Tara. Okay, and your mom too.
Yes,
we'll
and
invite your
Annalee.
mom. We have to have our young people
right.
love this kind
That's
of
right.
music, because
Yeah.
it is classic, and it will play classic
We went to
forever.
Florida a week ago, and Annalise said, "Mama, play Whitney."
Oh, that's
let's go.
awesome.
And so more oldies but goodies.
Yep.
The Voices of Classic Soul will perform, and it's rhythm and blues. And these lead vocalists were really the lead vocalists
Right.
for the Temptations, the Platters, the Drifters, and the Four Tops. They are up in years, but they can still sing,
Great
and
music.
you will be once again singing and dancing in the aisles. If you, for you, it would be the music of your mom and
It's
dad's
my
era.
favorite music.
But
It's
it's
the best.
still the best.
Yeah.
And then at the Pines at Christmas, we're going to have one Christmas night in Memphis, featuring the music of four iconic friends: Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Johnny Cash, and they're going to be singing everybody's favorite holiday songs. So that will be a fun.
That'll be a
Yeah.
perfect
fun
time for
event.
that. Yeah.
And then Christmas at the Temple Theater will be a holiday drumline. It's a super energy-filled show with drums and dances and singing. Promises to be a performance that the entire family will love.
And Drumline was here, about 10, 12 years ago? Is that right?
Yes, yes.
They were fantastic.
They
I
are
really didn't know what to
fantastic.
expect.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, now, you might need little earplugs because it is loud, but it is
Yeah.
amazing.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing. And really excited as an outreach program, they are going to work with and allow a local high school
love
drum
that.
line to actually
Oh, cool.
open their show.
Oh, that's great.
fantastic.
So those students will get to interact with them.
Love that.
And I think pretty much all of these people were in a drumline in college.
Sure.
This is a historical black college. It was their band. It's what they did
Well,
for
it's
performance. So
fantastic.
they'll be
great.
doing that. Then another fast-paced performance is Latin jazz from Tito Puente Jr.
Yep.
You might know that name. His dad, Tito Puente, was a very famous jazz musician in New York. Matter of fact, we had to reschedule the show because the day he was supposed to come to Lufkin, they were naming a street in New York City after his father.
That's awesome.
So he has taken his father's legacy, and it's really a fun show. He's very much of a fantastic showman. And then, of course, if you're looking for something a little more classic, a little quieter, you will love an evening with Lucia Maccarelli. It's violin and guitar and strings and vocals. It's classic jazz and classic music, and it's be a very relaxing evening. That will be at the Pines. You can have your glass of wine and just sit back and enjoy that music. Voctave is an incredible a cappella group of 13 musicians, and they have a very wide repertoire from classical to Broadway to even Disney. So this is one you could even bring your children to because they will recognize the Disney tunes.
Oh, cool.
So you might not have heard of these. Sometimes, we can't have every performance be someone that's famous.
Sure.
This group, even though it's famous in their world, you may not have heard of them, but this is one you really don't want to miss.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. So,
we used to tell people all the time, just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy them.
Exactly.
Just trust us and come on.
Some of and I can say that to her about all of these shows this year. I didn't know them either. Some of these are new to me, but the good thing about these is, we got YouTube now.
Yeah.
And everybody's on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
So if you go to the Angelina Arts Alliance website, look at our lineup. If somebody you don't know, just click on, just Google them and watch them on YouTube, and you will be a fan, I promise. And then we have to have our Glenn Miller Orchestra every year.
Yes.
It has a special audience. A lot of our retired people, the entire community of Pinecrest comes.
That's right.
And so they will be back this year, but they
great.
will be featuring the music of Henry Mancini. So
gonna be
all
great
of the
music.
old music from a lot of movie themes are there. And it's probably one of my favorite shows of the year because I just like to sit back and watch them go back in time to a happy time in their lives, and it's exciting.
That's great.
So, but we also want to celebrate the culture and the diversity of our community. So the Langston Hughes Project, if you don't know, Langston Hughes is a famous African-American poet. So during February, in African-American History Month, we're going to feature this, and he actually reads Langston Hughes, and I can't remember what the guy's name is that does it, but you will recognize him, and you will certainly recognize his amazing voice. And he will read that poetry to the background of jazz music, and it's going to be really great. It's going to be at the Pines. And then we are going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Viva Mexico, Viva America. It's the culmination of Mexico and America's culture, and it'll be really fun. That's from the Ballet Folklorico in Los Angeles.
And then you've got some great kids programs.
Great kids, perfect segue.
Kids.
We have we can't forget our children and our families. The Great Dubois is going to be at the Pine. It's a Pine show. It's a husband and wife who actually performed in the movie The Greatest Showman.
Yep.
And they will do some circus on stage, and they are really amazing. And then, of course, we have our 3 Discovery shows that are usually on Sundays. We'll have Illuminate, which is an amazing light show. I think they were on America's Got Talent. Drum Tile is a Japanese drum group. Oh my gosh, that's the video. You need to go Google them and watch that. They are amazing. They have performed all around the world, and that's one you don't want to miss. And then Artrageous is a unique interactive show where art's created on stage through paint and music and movement. They actually throw paint on canvas on the stage. The kids go crazy. They love that show. So that will be there. Of course, we have 7 school-time performances. And one of the things that we're so happy to announce this year is that one of our school-time performances is actually going to be written, produced, acted in from our local community theater.
That's amazing.
They are going to be doing that the entire show. So that's a first for us. And then, of course, each month we got our Pines film series, which have really become amazing. The community theater also comes there, usually like this Friday. The next one we're having is Star Wars, but they actually, it's kind of almost like a cult. So it's classic films that everybody loves. They come out, they dress up. The movies are $5. The popcorn and drinks are $1 each, and it's a fun evening.
It's a great evening to come out and be with your family.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a cool opportunity if these are like classic films that maybe you didn't get to see in theaters.
Yes.
It's a cool chance to go back and do that. We love it for that because like my kids weren't alive when those movies came out and didn't get that chance, and it's a neat thing to do.
It's fun.
You know, the cool part I love, and if you have not picked up one of these new brochures for the year, run by the Chamber, we'd love to give you one, or run by the downtown box office, actually right across the street from the Pines. But there's so many great details in here. You know, you have an educational reach of 57 miles. So schools as far as Jacksonville, Livingston, they're getting to come to Angelina County and Lufkin. But you reach over 15,000 students and children annually.
Each year.
That's
Isn't that amazing?
So much.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids that get
it's almost
to
half
enjoy.
Lufkin.
And you know, I mean, yes, it is almost half Lufkin. You know, we're working on this cultural district designation. We've all been a part of this, Blake and myself included, and it's been a great learning experience. But to be able to, we actually gave out what's the word?
Microgrants.
Microgrants. Thank you. We gave out microgrants, and y'all were able to reach out into the schools, work with the theater and the arts kids and the choir kids to be able to come. Why don't you tell a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh, that was the most amazing experience. So we, the microgrant just funded tickets, but we loved it so much that we kind of added on a little bit. So we gave them more than the grant.
Yeah.
And those students who were in those fine arts programs with choir and theater got to come, and most of them had never ever been to any kind of a professional show, even though they've acted in their own local productions, never seen anything, and they were mesmerized. And we actually asked them to help us during the regular performances for the Performing Arts Series. They were able to pass out programs and just be a part of our wonderful group of volunteers that we have. And we have over 75 volunteers that help us at all of our performances. So they got to experience that. And then at the Discovery Series, they also got to go. We gave them some tickets to that, and they passed out the cookies at the end of the show to the children and interacted with the kids. And later, they actually wrote some letters to us about the impact that had had.
That's awesome.
And one of the ones that stood out the most to me was one of the students says, "I feel like that someone finally sees us," because we give a lot of I guess recognition to athletics and to even to academics.
Interesting.
But sometimes the theater and the choir students just sort of, don't get as much, and they don't feel like what they do is appreciated. And so, they also, I forgot the most important thing was we had two outreach programs that were master classes. The first one was Robin Spielberg. She's a pianist, and she did a workshop and we invited the same students that got the micro grants. We invited them to be a part of this during the school day, and she did a performance anxiety workshop.
Interesting.
Where she really helped them understand how to not be so nervous when you perform. And it's not just musical performances, but even just when you're speaking to people and how to breathe and all that things. And then Kristen Chenoweth's masterclass was amazing.
Right.
There was never a dry eye in the house. This is her passion, and I just have to give a shout out to her. She has a nonprofit agency, and she's from a little town like us. She's from Broken Bow, Oklahoma, where not a lot of opportunities for this, and for someone like her to be able to come out of a small community. She talked to the kids about that. She talked to them about how to overcome the world of social media and to learn to hit delete and to love themselves for who they are.
I got as much listening to her as the kids guide.
Yeah.
And I literally cried the entire time. It was one of those days that I was just like done.
It was done.
And it hit every nerve on me. And I thought, well, she's just talking to me.
Yeah.
You know, as a grown
and she made
adult
you
sitting
feel
there.
that way.
That's amazing.
It did.
And
It's amazing.
it makes us remember that all of these performers
That's
that we're
right.
bringing here, they're just people.
They're just people.
They,
Right.
and you know, they
They
put
have bad
their
days,
pants
too.
on the same way
That's
we
right.
do, and they
Well,
have good days and bad
it's
days.
amazing.
And they, you know, they face rejection and they face the heights of fame, but they still are people inside. And I think it was good for them, for the young people to see that.
Well, we know that all of this is not possible without sponsors. You have some phenomenal sponsors that help you every year, from TLL Temple to Berkshire Brothers, Georgia Pacific, Texas Timberjack, and then so many others. But is that how you keep all of your tickets so affordable?
Absolutely. There is no way we could provide this kind of exceptional programming at our low prices without the support of our community. Ticket prices by no means pay for the performances.
Right.
Right.
And so, you know, ticket prices in larger cities are 2 to 3 times higher. If you go, you know that you've been there. Just an example: the average price of our Kristen Chenoweth tickets were $70. The average price anywhere else was about $389. On Your Feet, that's coming, our average price is $57. You go to Houston, it's going to be average $127. So, you know, thanks to the TLL Temple Foundation, who really underwrites so much of all of our seasons, and then those season sponsors that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
But then our partners, Angelina College, the City of Lufkin, the Texas Commission on the Arts, the local foundations, Kurth Foundation, Piney Woods, Fairchild Foundations, all support our endeavor. And then over 100 businesses and individuals actually sponsored this season. So their names are listed in our brochure. You got to grab a brochure, like Tara said, or go on our website and look at that. And please thank these people. They don't have to do this.
Yep.
They get nothing for it.
Yeah.
Their sponsorship is totally... it's just sponsorship.
Yeah.
They don't really get any perks much for this at all. So they do that because they love our community, and they want our community to be a place where people want to come to live. And if they're born and raised here, like Tara, Blake, where were you born?
I was.
was.
I was.
All right, that's right.
Yeah.
And you know, I've got 2 of my 3 children that are here, and you know, we want this to be a place where they want to continue to live and raise their families.
That's right.
So thanks for all of these people that make that possible.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming in and sharing all this information. It's so valuable that you do that. I mean, when we're talking to organizations, you know, you look at it as a family of 4. So it's like when there's 4 of us and we have to go out, we see the difference that makes to take all 4 of us to a really, really great show, as opposed to what we'd have driving 2 hours and then paying double
For
or triple,
parking.
paying for parking, and
maybe even have to spend the night.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is.
I can't overstate it. I can't get over just how great of a resource this is for our community.
Well,
We
like
appreciate
I
y'all
said,
doing that.
it's only possible because we have a great community
It is.
who supports and believes in everything we do.
Yeah.
And so, and arts being one of them.
Well, you've done a fantastic job as the interim director.
Well, thank you so
and
much.
We appreciate your love and your passion for helping make this community a better place.
Well,
so thank you.
I haven't lived here all my life, but I've lived here for almost 50 years of my life. So
it's
home.
I feel like it's home.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. We
Thank
appreciate
you so
coming
much.
on
Thank you
and
for
sharing
having us
this.
on. And please get your tickets.
Yes.
The best place to get your tickets is probably on our website, angelinaarts.org. Get your tickets that are on our website, or you can stop by our box office right across from the Pines.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much for listening again this week. Please go buy tickets. One of these shows is definitely something you're going to want to go, if not more. Make sure you're supporting the arts here in our community. If you'll do us a huge favor, if you'll rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, it just helps other people who are interested in this type of information to help find the show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.